That's going to lead us into our delicious debate where my friend Liam, I'm looking at his note app on his laptop. He has got a lot of research done for this week's delicious debate, so I will turn it over to you, sir.
So this became a debate last night as I was sat at the bar with my friend and we were talking about this.
Okay.
It was mostly on basketball, but I've changed it into a hockey thing.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, since the Oilers dynasty ended in 1990 or 1992, whichever one you want to say, how many dynasties have there been since?
What counts as a dynasty?
I think you've got to be a consistent winner. I would say that's part of it.
So it doesn't necessarily have to be like 3 in a row per se.
No, I wouldn't say that. Like, we'll talk about it a little bit up here, but like, the Oilers won 5 and 6 Stanley Cups, 5 out of 6.
Unquestionable dynasty.
Yeah. So let's start with that. So the Oilers, I did from 1983 to 92 because I think that's when the Oilers stopped losing. That was the end of the dynasty.
Okay.
So they went to the Stanley Cup 6 times, won 5, and went to the Western Conference Finals 8 times and won 6.
Mm-hmm.
So that's winning. In 9 years, they went to the conference finals
a lot of winning.
8 times.
Yeah.
So that's kind of there is no team on this list that has done this.
No, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. So arguably, there has been no dynasties since the Oilers have won, which is possible.
And that's where I take umbrage because my definition of a dynasty is different than that.
Well, what is
yours?
Well, my definition of a dynasty, while I understand it made sense for the Oilers to say that success was a big thing, I feel like it's a team that makes it so that the rest of their conference usually, but even their division, just shouldn't even bother trying. Like it's to me, it's a feel. It's a feel that you have during that time, and that's why I've added a couple of teams to your list. Added one team.
There was one team added I didn't have
because I consider them a dynasty, but Liam didn't necessarily feel like they were.
Okay, well, let's get into some of the teams you got.
Okay.
Because for me, a dynasty is if the wins don't come, then you're a pretender.
So is a win
interested to see where you're going to think about mine.
A Stanley Cup?
It has to be cups involved.
Yes, I agree. Because my friend said Boston, and I was like, not even close. They have one.
Bruins?
The Bruins. He said the Boston Bruins are a franchise, obviously, a dynasty.
They are a franchise, so your friend is right there.
Yeah, that was right of him. They are not even close to a dynasty.
The Bruins.
The Boston Bruins, who have won Stanley Cup, and they've been to 3 and lost.
Yeah, they went to 3. Like, I don't remember the years, but they went to 3 in quick
cups?
succession.
They have 1 cup. 2011.
That's it?
They are a consistently very good team for the last decade. I think they've won more in the past, but not recently.
I think they've won. It's probably won in the 70s, I believe so.
Yeah, they have a lot more than one. So we'll start in 96 to 2002. The Colorado Avalanche, Dan's pick. 2 Stanley Cups in 2 attempts, and then...
How many years, though, were those cups?
So that was...
3 Stanley Cups, wasn't it?
Only 2.
No, it was only 2.
They beat New Jersey in 2001, and they beat Florida in 1996.
No, that's not a dynasty.
I don't consider it as a dynasty.
They were a fucking good team.
They're a very good team. I don't think they're a dynasty either.
That's where I put them into the mix, though, because, Liam, how many Western Conference Finals were they?
They've been to 6. So every single year, besides 1 from 96 to 2002, they went to a Western Conference Finals or a Stanley Cup Finals.
I mean, couldn't you put the Devils in the same conversation then? Because they won.
Devils are up the list. Patience.
They're coming later.
You're skipping ahead, young Waz.
Yeah, I know.
Just too excited.
Yeah.
I just, like, when I think of that team and I think of that time, that frame of time, and I think that the issue with both this team and then the next team that maybe one of the next teams that gets mentioned is that they were clashing with each other as dynasties. And that's where...
Did you just watch that Red Wings thing?
I did. I haven't seen it yet.
It's good. You should watch it.
I've only heard good things. Unrivaled by
I was going to look up what that was called. Yeah, it's really good.
But yeah, I feel like that's where I understand that you don't maybe mention them as a dynasty, but I think that they have to be in that conversation because they were just battling with each other all the time consistently. The other team is
Detroit, who were the exact same timeline, but 1995 to 2002. They have 3 Stanley Cups in 4 appearances. They went to the Western Conference Finals 5 times and won 4 of them. They have 2 second-round exits and 1 first-round exit.
I would say Detroit is because they've got the cups.
I think Detroit is too because they beat Colorado.
Yeah.
So that would be my argument is I don't think you can have 2 in the same era.
I've got no interest in their participation medals in Colorado.
One thing on Colorado is every time they lost, they actually lost to the Oilers in 98. They lost to Dallas in 99, who went on to win, then lost to Dallas again in 2000, who went on to win.
Well, it's too bad for them.
That is too
Don't
bad.
say it like they actually lost to the Oilers. That was
Well, I
such
was
a
just
good
saying,
gutty
like,
team. That was
Oh, they actually lost. To the Oilers. So
The Oilers beat them down, Liam.
yeah,
yes.
Thank you.
in 7 games. Okay. So the Detroit Red Wings from 1995
We punctuated that point for us.
to 2002 is a dynasty.
I would say the Red Wings, yeah.
The Red Wings.
Yeah,
Are we
I would.
all in agreement? Was?
Maybe.
Warcraft was?
Maybe.
Would they be a dynasty in World of Warcraft though?
That's hard to say. I don't know if there's really dynasties in World of Warcraft, to be honest.
Well, you're just not good enough then, was I
Yeah.
guess. You know? Not
However,
playing,
they
I'm
did-
winning.
They didn't make the playoffs 20 years in a row, so I'll give them some credit for that.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
That is impressive, yeah. Although a lot of those years, though, they were spending about double the average
Yes.
NHL salary, but
That is
you know,
needed to be
there's
kept
little
in.
asterisks in there.
GM Ken Hall.
But I think that's a good point too to bring up, because now as you get into the later teams, once we get into the salary cap era, then you have to start to think about that conversation of longevity not necessarily being a part of it, just because as soon as you win a Stanley Cup or two, the contracts start rising, the
100%.
the value of your players goes up exponentially.
So keep going down the list. I won't jump ahead.
So 2000 to 2003, the New Jersey Devils.
Nope. How many cups I got, though?
That's a
Two?
tough span of years to list.
2.
I'm going to say no. I need 3.
You need 3.
3 is the number for
Okay.
bad.
I'm a size queen.
I'm in no on the Devils too.
Are you? But World of Warcraft was.
Yeah, what does World of Warcraft was think?
I love
Devils?
that name for you. I don't know why. Yeah, do you think the Devils is a
no.
a dynasty? I don't also. I also don't. But I
Okay.
also think that may become from the fact that we aren't in the East, maybe for me.
And maybe it's also because I really hated the Devils at that time.
Well, and
I didn't like them at all.
do you feel like that Devils team was like staunch and just like nobody could get past them, or was that a team where
They
you
were
kind
good,
of
but they were boring. They were
Yeah,
playing the
I
trap.
wish I
Like
had the chance to watch them.
they had a system?
they were playing the trap. Martin Brodeur was
Right,
really
hold on.
good. Like
Jacques Lemaire was there early on in
Scott
that.
Stevens.
Scott Stevens was cool.
He's got big biceps.
Killed Paul Correa.
Basically, yeah.
Okay. So there isn't one for a while.
Okay, hit us.
So the next one is 2012 to 2014.
Los Angeles.
The Los Angeles Kings.
I'm going to say no.
Dan?
Well, the number again, that year span is where we're starting to get tougher. But what are we saying statistically they're doing during that?
They had 2
During
cups.
3 years, they were the 8th seed in 1 year.
Yeah.
2. They were
Yeah.
the 8th seed. So in 3 years, they won 2 cups and went to the conference finals 3 years in a row. Lost to Chicago the 1 year.
No.
4-1.
The only dynasty they can be a part of is a convoy of Chrysler dynasties from the early 90s.
I actually have that in my notes.
The Chrysler Dynasty.
The Chrysler Dynasty.
Dynasty.
That was my first car, just in case you were wondering.
Oh,
In 1991, it was a navy blue.
Wow.
Very nice.
What'd you call it? Did it have a name?
The Dynasty, actually.
Oh yeah.
How many doors?
Dynasty.
How many doors? 4.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Did
That's
you
good living.
say
In 91.
the trunk is a door?
It could be a door. You consider a door, sure.
So is it a 4-door?
It would be a 5-door then in that case if
5-door?
we're counting the truck door.
Okay.
I'll
So
allow
no to the Kings.
I'm saying no.
come from, Liam? Where did the door question come
Is there more doors or wheels? It's the whole thing again.
But do you consider a hood a door then?
No, because you can't get out.
What
of
about the
hood from
gas?
car.
What about the gas cap?
No, because you can't get out of the inside of the car from the gas cap. You can get out of it from.
What
the
if you're
front.
You can
Ant-Man?
get out from the hood.
That's a good point.
If you're Ant-Man, you can.
How many doors are there then?
Yeah.
The wheels and
6,
doors to bake goes out.
7.
What about a sunroof?
Sunroof?
Technically, it opens.
Oh,
but,
you
like,
can-
That could also be a door.
That could be a door.
And
What
Could be a
windows.
window.
Was it
Could
a
be window.
six door?
And we're windows.
Welcome to off-season mode.
You can jump out the window.
So LA Kings we've got as a no.
No.
All right. Now what? We got the Penguins probably?
But how many windows?
I didn't have the
did it-
Penguins on the list.
Really?
Oh, okay. Well, you can't just put the.
Why did you omit the Penguins? I'm
I
curious.
think he's saying that he didn't include them because he doesn't think that they are at all.
I don't think they are at all. So they won back to back. Very impressive.
Mhm.
So they've been to 5. So from I think it was 2008 to 2017, they went to 5 Eastern Conference Finals. I think 4 Stanley Cups.
But they had no Western Conference Finals, so they're
Yeah, no
limited.
Western Conference Finals. So that was big. Outside of going to the conference finals, they never made it out of the second round. And they fell in the first round multiple times.
What is it now? 6 in a row or something like that
For what?
for the Penguins in the first round?
So hold on.
Yeah, something like
So
that.
Liam, you didn't consider the Kings as a dynasty, right?
No.
Okay, I was going
Because
to
they're
say,
not.
if you consider the Kings a dynasty, I mean, the
No,
Penguins.
I didn't. I wrote it down in my notepad, but not on my notes. So
I kind of forgot the so there was the 2 cups for Pittsburgh in 2016, 2017.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot the gap was as long as it was from 2009, Crosby's first cup, to the second one in 2016.
And the thing to consider in that is Crosby had all his concussions.
Yes.
So he was out of lineup a ton, which I think you have to imagine if Crosby was playing, they'd probably make it back to a finals at least once.
Yeah, but that's
Probably makes him a dynasty from that era or in the conversation like of 2008 to say 2012. But I just think there's too big of a gap from when they went to the final and won in 2009 to when they won in 2016. And to only make a conference finals once between that gap isn't even in consideration with some of these teams. I don't think anyway.
Okay.
well, but Bag Milk did set his bar at 3 Stanley Cups. So Bag Milk, what do you think?
I'm going to say no just because of the gap between 2009 and 2016.
Yeah, because
If it was, say, like 2014 or whatever that they won that third one, then I would say yeah.
I would say that too.
I think the back-to-back cups has to mean for something.
I think it means they're a very good team.
Yep.
But what's the difference between winning back-to-back and winning one in 2012, going to the conference finals, and then winning in 2014?
Well, in that case, you won 8 playoff rounds in a row, right? So technically, that may
Yeah, but then to never make it back again after and to go to 6 straight first-round exits after
Something
they
like
won
that, yeah.
in 2017?
2017, yeah.
I just don't think they're in the conversation with a few of these teams. Like, I thought about it, but I just didn't put them on.
that one's tough.
It's
Who's
important to remember that this dynasty thing is entirely made up, but
It's important to
real.
remember that
It's-
this is factual and everybody's entitled to our opinion.
I remember it was like last year I was watching the Islanders broadcast and we're like, oh, the Oilers never had a dynasty because they didn't win 4 in a row.
Okay.
All right.
that's
Again, so
that's
I think it's important to also, if I want to hear from you, if you're listening to this, Owen Radio Podcast on Twitter and Instagram. Also, I think I'm going to add a caveat. Where are your goalposts? Like I said, for me,
Yeah.
you have to win 3 in like 4 years or something like that.
I'm going to do my nation thoughts on this question.
Okay.
So look out for
Whoa.
that.
That'll be on Sunday probably.
Yeah, so I'll ask the question after the show,
Okay.
and then we can go from there.
Who's
So
next after-
The next one.
Yep.
The Chicago Blackhawks.
or Chicago, depending on where you're
Chicago,
from.
2009 to 2015. 3 for 3 at the Stanley Cup. Went to 5 Western Conference Finals, won 3. However, 2 first-round exits, one as the 8th seed and one as the 6th seed. Where do they land? I think this is the most interesting one on the sheet.
I would say they're a dynasty.
I would say they're closer than the Penguins were.
They're way closer, yeah.
They had 3 in 5 years?
So they won 2000. So I started this in 2009 because they went to the conference finals and then won the next year.
Mhm.
So 2010 they beat Philly 4-2. Then they beat Boston in 2013 4-2. And then they beat Tampa 2015 4-2. And they lost to Vancouver in the first round, pushed it to 7 as the 8th seed. Lost to Phoenix the year after in the first round as a 6th seed.
Chicago could be.
I changed my when you asked me this question initially, I would not have included Chicago in my list, and now I do. So thank you for that, Liam.
I'm gonna go with it, especially if you're considering like as a modern dynasty, because I mean, you're not gonna. I don't know. We haven't seen 3 in a row in a while. Like,
Yeah.
So
Given the times, the salary cap, I would say, yeah, probably for Chicago.
I think they're the team that's kind of like between for me. Because I think the 2 first-round exits harms them massively. Now, if they were the
What if they had things to do?
that maybe they did have summer plans.
They had like a houseboating trip or something, maybe?
Are you saying the Leafs aren't
Maybe.
good at all? Is that what you're trying to say, Liam?
something like that.
The,
I think.
the Leafs are a reverse dynasty.
Yes.
They are a
They're not on
dynasty.
the list.
I mean, we had a dynasty of first overall picks.
yeah.
So
There you go.
We did.
So I think Chicago is the team that's kind of in the middle for me. Like they can be and can't be. I think it's fair to consider them the fact they have 3 in 5 years or whatever it was. So I would say Chicago is.
Okay.
Okay.
When you asked us this question, you said we had to say yes or no, and now you just said you're in the middle.
This is just the one team I can't really make my mind up on.
I'm going
That's
to make
fair.
you do it right now. 3, 2, 1, go.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to say
Decided.
yes
does
also.
it count that one of their cups was in a lockout year?
Yeah, I would say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
I mean,
so.
somebody had to win.
I just think the 2 years when they won a higher seed.
Important question for Waz to ask, because the next team that
Yes.
we're talking about
Yes.
Yes.
is
Tampa Bay Lightning.
the
No.
Asterix team.
No. Okay. Well, let me read it out.
Maybe if they win next year.
So they have 2 Stanley Cups back to back, obviously. They've been to the Stanley Cup Finals 4 times since
How about
2015.
Pat Maroon? Is he a dynasty?
There is also the option of a player dynasty, which I didn't make notes of, but maybe that's next week.
Pat Maroon is a dynasty.
So 2 Stanley Cups in 4 attempts. They've been to the Eastern Conference Finals 6 times since 2015. They have 1 first-round elimination, which, of course, was the sweep by Columbus. And they missed the playoffs in 2017, and that was the year Stamkos was recovering from his leg or knee injury?
Feels like
Leg.
All of
Something
the
was
above.
broken, probably.
Yeah.
Through a post.
So, yeah,
Tried to.
Tampa Bay.
They got to win next year.
You think so?
They have to. Or I'm going to give them say no.
Okay.
I need 3.
They've only had 2.
That's,
2 Stanley Cups.
Got knocked out in the first round. That
Yeah, I don't know. It's
No
yeah.
good?
I think that
they were the number 1 seed in that year.
we're definitely doing like a series or a what do you call it? Like a generational adjusted or era adjusted dynasty conversation.
I
here.
think you have to.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for
Because
sure.
feel
I
like
agree.
The point you make that they won 11 playoff rounds in a row, essentially.
Yeah, they would have won 11.
Yeah,
'cause 12
that's
would have
pretty
been the Stanley
impressive.
Cup. They
But
wouldn't
to
have-
me, the conversation is going to be different if Tampa Bay loses in the first round this year and Colorado goes on and wins again. Just cruises through the West and wins again.
I agree. So
Right?
I would say the dynasty, the era, or whatever you want to call it right now, before we decide, is still alive until Tampa Bay is done before conference
Yeah.
finals, I think.
Yeah. Because like say the Leafs beat them in the first round this
Then
year.
I think it's done.
Yeah. Like I mean
Unless
that-
they went and won the Stanley Cup the year after.
that's the question.
Then it's
That's
back
the
in.
whole thing, right? Is it's like what have you
they
done
have to
for me
win next
lately?
year.
Era adjusted dynasty conversation.
Yep. My era adjusted dynasty requires 3.
So
That's my rule.
in 2016, they lost to Pittsburgh in 7 games in the Eastern Conference Finals, and Pittsburgh won. And in 2018, they lost in the Eastern Conference Finals again to Washington, who then went on to win.
Yeah.
Can't finish, can't close.
Well, they have 2 in a row since then.
Well, they learned to close.
One with an
Finish.
asterisk.
Yep.
2 with an asterisk.
Yeah, technically you could put 2.
Wow.
That's the thing.
The
is
whole
that
Nikita Kucherov thing.
they're a bit of a weird conversation because of the 2 they won. One was in the bubble after the season was ended.
Rogers Place right here.
Shout out to Edmonton.
And then the second one was adjusted divisions where Montreal and who was it? Vegas were the Western Conference Finals.
Yes.
What are you saying about
Like-
Vegas?
I'm saying Montreal is not in the West.
But
so
it's Canadian.
we'll go around the horn.
But they're more west than some places, like where you're from, England.
That is well. It depends where you are in England. Because I lived in the Northwest, so that was West.
Montreal is as east as that division could get.
Weast.
It was the West division.
Bag milk staring into my eyes.
Yeah.
Okay, so Tampa Bay,
No.
Dan
TBD.
was
Can I give like a 0.5? It's like 0.5 of a dynasty.
No. I'm going to give you a frowny cloud sticker for that.
I'm saying no right now, I guess.
I will also say no. I think they need one more, but
So you're agreeing that the 3-cup rule should be the standard.
I think that should be the standard.
Thank you.
But also to go to 6 conference finals since 2015 is extremely impressive.
Yeah, I think it depends on how you factor a dynasty nowadays. Does it involve just playoff rounds? Is it just cups? You know, it's
I think I value it as consistent winning,
Yeah.
and I think that's the right way to do
do
it.
you consider President's Trophy wins at all?
Yeah, I think you have
Okay,
to.
interesting.
And like, not if you win the President's Trophy and then lose consistently in the first. Like Washington is not a dynasty,
No.
but Tampa Bay when they lost in the first round, they were a number 1 seed. I didn't add up where they were in the other ones. I was curious by when they lost where they were, considering where Chicago were the 6 and 8.
Mhm.
So after our discussion,
Yes. Deliberations. Or delicious debate for our friends at Oodle
a
Noodle.
delicious debate. So Tampa Bay is no. Chicago is yes. The Kings are a no. The Devils are a no. The Red Wings are the yes. And Colorado is a no.
That's
so,
right.
Since the Oilers dynasty, there has been 2 dynasties, according to us.
Mhm.
The Detroit Red Wings and the Chicago Blackhawks.
Ish.
And
Era
maybe
adjusted.
Tampa.
Maybe Tampa if they win next year.
Tampa's a TBD, right?
Yeah,
Right.
they're a TBD. They could be, but
There are
they
no
won't be.
right now.
Yeah, right now they're a no.
Was there anyone we missed? Pittsburgh seemed to be the only one that was brought up
No,
again.
2 spaced out. They had those back-to-backs. I respect it.
Yeah.
But the third one,
No.
you know,
Okay.
what are you going to do?
Not win.
Nope. Not enough for my liking.
Well, there you have it.
Let us know what you
Debate
think.
sorted.
Yeah.
ON Radio Podcast on Twitter and Instagram. First of all, where are your goalposts? What's a dynasty to you? I say 3. Has to be in like 3, 4 years, 5 years, maybe at most.